Welcome to Papa Junk Shop. Gonna do something I usually don't do, I guess. I don't know, you might call it a review or a tryout or whatever. And a couple of reasons why I usually don't do anything like this, because I hardly ever buy anything new. I usually watch for a deal. But I was messing around on the internet looking, and I seen one of these inverter welders, 110, 120 volt. And I got a little welder, just an AC transformer type. I think it's supposed to be 70 amps that I use for my ARC torch. And you can't run it very long, and it goes into the overheat mode. And you can't weld anything with it. It's just a pretend thing. And I got it in an auction, didn't pay hardly anything for it, so I'm not out anything. I seen one of these on eBay, and then I looked on Amazon, and I found it on Amazon quite a bit cheaper than on eBay, and couldn't figure out why it was so much cheaper there, but I thought, I guess I better go for it if I'm gonna, so I did. And gonna use that as a replacement for that, I hope. And being 110 volt, hopefully I can take it other places and use it, and maybe even run it on a generator. So let's open her up and see what she looks like. Only took this butter 2 days to get here. Called a Yeswelder IGBT inverter welding machine. And looks like this is the carrying strap and the converter from 120 to 220. Boy, it actually feels like pretty nice quality. Huh. A lot of the other ones I looked at didn't come with leads or these adapters. So this is and some of them were like a meter long. And this one said they're 10 feet, so it looks like it is. It's got the small, I don't know, I guess you call them DIN connector. Push them in and turn, same as on my Feronius over there. But this is a smaller version. Boy, pretty good spring in that. Ground cable. Everything looks pretty nicely done. I'm surprised. Chip brush, that's a chip hammer and a brush. Yeah, That's a little on the chintzy side there. Instructions. I'm surprised, these cords actually feel really nice. They're not all stiff. Pretty decent little cord. This is what the front of her looks like. Got a little dust cover. Digital readout. Looks like an over temperature light and maybe a power light. Where the leads go. Got rubber feet on it. Power on and off. Looks good. Take a quick peek at the instructions and see what they look like. Looks like mostly safety stuff. Well, there's the specifications. Operating controls. You know, I haven't read very much of it, just scanning through it, and it actually looks like a pretty decent translation. So we'll check that out later. You always look at the instructions if all else fails. So let me get this bugger some power and we'll see what she'll do. Another reason why I picked this one out of the bunches of them that were on eBay and that was I went to the website for this place and mostly what they had was welding stuff. They didn't sell all kinds of stuff like those China things do, and they make some pretty nice helmets from what I understand, welding helmets, so decided to go with this one. Well, I got her plugged in, haven't turned her on yet. Okay, so apparently that is a power light. Looks like it starts out at 8. Goes to 125. I think that's what they said it was, 125 amp. Now, when I was looking on YouTube and that, a lot of them say they're 200 amps and the readout isn't very accurate on them. They're only making like 100 amps and they say 200, so maybe this one is more truthful about their specifications. So I got a piece of scrap, and this is the kind of stuff like I'd be welding on. Not new, nice, shiny stuff, old rusty stuff. And I got a 3/32 6011. So I think it says 60 to 90 amps, so put it up to 60 and see what happens. Alrighty, Murphy's been working on my leads. All tangled up. Get back a little bit. Might get her splattered up with weld first time. Oh, that's got a nice grip. Yeah, see what happens. Well, I'm so shaky here. That was a 60. There's 70. Yeah, that seemed to go a little bit better. As long as we're reviewing things, we'll review this. Now it welded. Looks pretty typical of some of my welds. Looks like it wouldn't hurt to be just a little hotter yet. But it didn't have a problem holding the arc once I quit shaking. Try one at 80. Wow, 80 amps really goes at it. Man, that penetrated a lot better. Well, that's on 120 volts too. Let me get a 1/8 inch rod. This one says 6013. I'm not a welder, I don't know what all this stuff is. I'm going to buy the seat of your pants welder. I try it, and if it works, good, and if it doesn't, we try something else. But I'm going to leave it right on 80, just for the fun of it, and see what happens. Well, I can hold an arc at 80 with it, but it's sort of just piled on top. It's not really penetrating well. So let's try. I think I usually got my bigger welder. I usually run around 100. Working, but I think it would be better a little higher. Let's max her out on 120 volts to see how she does. Problem at all. That rod's gone. Okay. Just for the fun of it. Got a 5/30 seconds. Complete weld 37. It says 6011 on it too. Let's see if that'll do anything on 125 volts. Turned all the way up. Well, it did it. I had to keep the arc pretty tight, but actually don't look that bad. I'm pretty impressed for plugging in 120 volts. Now I'm going to in order to plug that in, I gotta look see what kind of plugs I got. See if I got one for the 220. Yeah, run the wire brush on some of these welds that I did. Let's see, this was the first one, I think at 60. And I think that was a little bit more, maybe 70. Then I think I went up, I don't remember. I have to go back and look. But anyways, that was the 332nd. I think this was the 1/8 inch at 90 I started, and then I turned it up to 100. And then I turned it all the way up to 125. And that looks pretty decent there. And this was the 5/32 with it all the way up. Now this is on 120 volts, all of this. And I think that's probably even acceptable, but it's hurting a little bit. But if you were desperate, you could do that. So now I've got it on, got it hooked up to 220. I couldn't find anything, so I could use this because I don't have anything that matches the other end of that. So you aren't going to believe what I'm going to do. This is like real world stuff here. It's what people do. The electrical cops will be after me for this one. So I got a 25-foot 16-2 cord, which I use for a few portable things that I had it run on 220. It has this kind of an end on it. And I got one of these ground adapters, and I twisted one of the prongs on it so it goes the other way, so I can plug it into this. And now I can plug the welder into that. Now if this thing will weld with that kind of a setup, then I'd say it's a pretty good little welder. So let's try it. Still have that, what's left of that big rod in there. So let's turn it all the way up. Let's give that a whirl. Unbelievable, it did it. Nothing feels warm even. I went through the whole rest of that rod, which was probably at least 3/4 of that rod. That's what it looks like. Haven't chipped it off yet, but I'm pretty impressed with this bugger. Jeepers. If it'll hold up, quite the little machine. So I'm going to get my arc torch out, because that's actually what I bought it for. But looks like it's going to be good for lots of stuff. So let me get that out and we'll give that a whirl. Okay, a lot of you guys may never seen one of these. It's kind of old school, and it's got two carbon rods that look like this. They got it's carbon in the middle, got a copper coating on it for you to make contact, and there's a holder, and it's got a little set of gears here and an arc shield, and there's a couple little thumb controls here, finger controls, and you bring the arcs together, get it started and pull it back apart, and you hold that and keep that arc going. And you can heat metal, you can braze with it, you can do light welding. I got using one of these because every time I wanted to use my acetylene oxidant setup, the gas was always gone. All my buddies come over and use it all up, and they don't tell me. And I got tired of buying all the gas for everybody else, so I thought, well, I'm going to use one of these. And not everybody can use one. They're not practiced, and they're not good for everything, but works pretty nice. I got to put a new one in that one side because I think up on the shelf it got broke off. So you just clamp them in there, a little wing nut deal there, and get them so they come together. And maybe just back just a little bit, because that'll burn that off a little bit at first. And then the other end of these cables would just hook on your welder leads. It doesn't matter which one goes to what. So I'll put this one in the electrode holder. And this one will go on the, I'll just clamp it on that. Helmet on. I got the welder set for 30 amps. I'm not sure. We'll start out with that and see what happens. Will work. If you was going to do some sheet metal or something, it probably would work. But I was just going to heat up this hunk of 1/4 inch plate here, so we need a little more. Turn her up to, let's try 50. Yeah, I made her nice and red. I'm not sure what that bright flashing is. It might be because that metal's so dirty, or maybe that's that welder thinking that it needs to up the thing like you were starting a rod. I think this has got, I can't think what you call it, that helps you get started on your arc. So probably just a little more. I think that other one over there said it just had a high and a low, and I always run it on high, and I think that was 70. So see what it does on 70. Yeah, that seemed to work the best of all. Hopefully you guys can see that's nice and red hot. And I don't think the flashing was happening with the ARC. I think it was my helmet that was flashing. I need to change the sensitivity on it a little bit. This ARC apparently has some shady spots in it depending on when I'm moving it around. So I don't think it was anything going on there. I think it was the adjustment on my helmet. So this little guy, I'm really impressed with it. I wouldn't be afraid to recommend it to anybody. Say how long it'll hold up, I don't know, but it doesn't seem to be an effort for it to weld. On 1/8 inch or smaller for sure. And I did use that 5/32. And it's going to run this easily. Just use your own judgment whether you want to spring for one or not, but for 79 bucks, I don't know how you can go wrong. So, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. See you next time.